Hey there, welcome to Dogecoin Wyckoff Technical Analysis session. Last week we talked about Dogecoin finally light up its engine and heads towards the moon. And this week there seems to be some sort of retracement, but no worries, it's probably very normal. So let's explore what actually happened. Here we are in the weekly chart of Dogecoin. Currently the price is sitting at around 26 cents 83, and we are going through a stage where it's somewhat having some selling pressure at the orange key level of 30 cents plus this sign of strength, I would say resistant level. So there is an invisible intermediate resistance level right over here. So if I draw this line, it will be a lot clearer. So that was the PSY preliminary support, supply period back in late October, early November 2024. And the LPSY also tested or got rejected around this level of the yellow dashed line. If I just keep this line on this level. This was the SOS, the sign of strength, back in July, and now we are kind of seeing this happening. So it seems like it's heading towards the preliminary supply level, that's a distribution, and the buying climax as well. But is it going to be just another sign of strength, or is it going to head all the way up to PSY? So sometimes for PSY, it doesn't always get all the candles like opening higher, closing higher than the open. So these are candles that you usually see as green, but I'm making it white so it's easier for all the people to see. And sometimes you just see some form of fluctuations during the PSY period. That may be something that we're going through now. So you see those two white candles and then the red one. We've got two white ones. Well, you can count just one white, but it's still fine. And then we've got the red one, but it's got both like wicks on both sides. So it's like a bull and bear tug of war. It's not like one-sided. So by one-sided, I mean something like this. So it got pushed really hard towards one side, and there's some buying force once it passes through a key level. So that's the one-sided candle when I was mentioning about it. So back to this, it's still normal if it continues to trade sideways. However, when we get closer and closer towards the end of November or the first week of December, assuming this trade narrow range right here, it has to break out. So either it really finally launches towards the buying climax, or it's going to come down and retest some of the support levels. This white line over here is the top edge of the long-term playground zone, meaning for the past few years, most of the time, Dogecoin has been traded within this zone. And that's just a weaker resistance line, so it may not last even for another week. So by next week it might have already broken out. So that's what we are hoping to see, and hopefully the force will drive it through the Dogecoin rocket, drive it through all the way towards the light blue key level. That's the very first stop we wanted to head to, and eventually challenge the 0.57. So that was the 2021 buying climax. So let's hope for it to arrive to 0.47 now, and then 0.57 is the next step. That's the big picture. Just to quickly check the Bollinger Band Keltner squeeze. From the technical definition, it isn't in the squeeze yet, because otherwise there will be these vertical bars at the back. But for me, it has already entered the squeeze. I will start counting it from here, beginning of June. So if it continues to trade sideways, the squeeze will just be stronger and stronger. So if it really gets towards this, like around November or late October, it would just push the price swing more crazier. So anyway, if it's really the end of an accumulation cycle, congratulations to the bulls. What you're hoping for may finally come in the next few weeks. If you are a bear, it's probably not end yet also, because after a sign of strength, sometimes it does some form of retracement. So we hope this is the LPS. If not, there is some adjustment need to be made. It looks like we're getting towards the end of an accumulation cycle, and the price is likely going to continue to go up. This is a less likely scenario. Likewise, for another test coming towards the yellow upward trend line. Those are, I would say, 25% chance. While this side would be 75%. Let's get to the daily as well. Switch on the Bollinger Band counter squeeze. Currently there's no squeeze because what happened last Tuesday, the price shot up, and that's opening up the channels, releasing the squeeze forces. So this might as well be the up thrust. So we have already put in these tags last week. So if you have been following, you know I always try to put a few more tags for the daily chart, because things happen just so quickly. The weekly sessions that I'm like doing isn't going to be like the weekly charts where we've got time to see how things evolve. Like by the time the next session happens, a couple of stages of Wyckoff has already happened. So while it's coming down, it may be the sign of weakness coming through. But again, that's another question mark, because we don't know whether it has gone to the bottom yet. The volume itself looks a bit promising for a rebound, but when that move just happened while I was talking, it seems like the bulls and bears are fighting very fiercely. So you see increasing volume over the past 3 days. And this price range we have today compared to yesterday, it's a very narrow range challenge between the bulls and the bears. So they may be agreeing in the short term, like today, tomorrow, it's going to stay somewhere around here for the time being, while waiting for the next swing to happen. Some people will say, oh, this is more like a double top and it's going to come down. That's fine. In terms of Wyckoff, we're just waiting for the sign of weakness to happen. In the weekly chart, if it really is going up, then in the daily, we may be able to see an upthrust of the distribution. Currently is not the time to tell that exactly yet. That's the possibility. And I also noticed one thing. While I said this is upthrust and second test, I should probably add back the question marks for them as well. Because now I recall, probably last week I also mentioned, this may well be an LPSY2 period, meaning it's preliminary supply period for the upthrust. So this is not the actual upthrust peak. It may end up somewhere higher. Here, this side, there's no PSY, so I'm adding it back. So PSY is preliminary supply. This, with just PSY, I relate it to the buying climax. This one with a 2 are related to upthrust of the distribution. For upthrust of the distribution, I will put a PSY 3 during the period of price climb. So that's pretty much covering everything for now. And to add to that quickly, you see this range, right? So don't be surprised if it really trades sideways for the next week or two. Both the weekly and daily chart is showing some room for that horizontal trading to happen. Again, let's hope for the upside. Set a stop loss in case it heads towards the downside.